It's red, but it's not. It's not the right red. It's Canadian, but it's not the right Canadian.
Well, there was a
Ketchup,
big Coliseum game last night on the time of this recording.
This is what we're March 10th here, March 11th, whatever day it is, doesn't matter. But we're talking about the game that was March 9th
Against the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens.
Only the second game of the year, and it's in March.
Which a lot of people are realizing that, but
It's a shame because it was a good game. You know, it was a fun game for the most part. I mean, if you like close games.
yeah,
Why wouldn't you? Okay, well, I didn't see it fully. I just
how do I
heard
want to
that-
jump into this?
Yeah,
I like close games, but I also like if it's Montreal and Toronto, I like
a big blowout.
I like a blowout.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, he
I get
wanted
it.
that. He wanted that. We have friendly spirited bets sometimes in our workplace about certain teams facing today or for this game. We didn't bet anything.
it's
so.
not so fun for me. I mean, I'm on this side of our cultural and bar top divide. I'm the Montreal Canadiens fan. You're the Maple Leafs fan. So it's not so fun for me to bet on my team when we're what third last in the East, or well, actually I think maybe second last in the East now.
It was a big old battle,
Right,
between
so-
two rivals, and I don't know where you can place the Leafs on the scale. Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're there, sometimes they're really
For
inconsistent.
rivalries, or what do you mean?
No, well, just where they're playing. So it's
as a team.
yeah, like how close are they to? Sometimes they're really close.
Yeah, I think you hate the Leafs more than I do because
Yes,
I think
that is
I
a
think you
fact.
think they're a bad team.
I think
and
they're frauds.
I don't think they're a good team exactly. No, they're a good team, but not a great team right now. But anyway, yeah, there was
But I'm a lifelong Leaf fan. Like I've suffered through it all.
I do
Never
respect
done.
both of you have kind of these deep roots for both of these teams, and you're ride or die. You're not like some guy that's like they're good the last 5 years. Suddenly, I'm a
The
fan.
way he suffered in grade school when he told me about how he-
yeah.
like it's exactly what I went through. So
Do you guys agree with the idea that you're not allowed to celebrate like a cup unless you've been with the team when they're shit? Like if you haven't suffered, you shouldn't be allowed to enjoy the highs.
I was thinking about that yesterday because I was thinking about changing fan bases.
Oh, okay.
And there is no honor in it. I know a guy who was a Habs fan who went Leafs fan, and I didn't respect him at all.
Right.
I was
No,
like, you were
he's a
a real Habs
leper.
fan. A
He's
real Habs fan wouldn't do that.
no, he's ostracized from both communities, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's okay to a lot of fans here will cheer for whatever Canadian team is left in the playoffs,
true.
right?
Yeah, that's how it
and I think
usually
that's
works.
fine. That's okay. But obviously, celebrating a cup win in that way isn't going to mean the same to someone as it would to someone who has been with a fan of that team forever, right?
Yeah, it's like starting to watch hockey, and then 6 years later, you get to
Yeah. There's no
watch the cup being lifted.
no bitterness towards our mutual Vegas Golden Knights fan friend.
No, definitely
none whatsoever. But
because that sandwich tasted pretty good.
but yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, people are going to cheer for whatever they're going to cheer for. But personally, the Leafs could be the only Canadian team in the league, and I would not cheer for them. So
That's fair.
that's not my
That's Canadian tribalism at its finest.
right. Yeah,
It's-
that's not the nature of
you know,
my fandom. But for some people, that's fine.
Toronto would never dare put their rival team colors on their iconic
On the-
buildings, right?
I mean,
Because I know
hey,
Montreal would never do
Did
that.
this really happen? Or
It
is
did. It did.
Oh my god.
When Montreal beat the Leafs in the playoffs,
I think when they put the colors on
Well, that's
was
Toronto for
when
you.
Montreal
Toronto likes to dress up.
Montreal emerged from the from that conference final to go to the finals.
the
I think
last
because they were
Canadian team.
represented. They beat
Yes, I understood
Winnipeg and
But-
I don't remember when they put the colors on the CN Tower, but that was great. I mean that
I do. I don't know. It's
it.
that was
a-
defeat. It was like Mad Max. I'm on the front of the truck, displayed.
Oh yeah.
Like that was ultimate. It was ultimate defeat. But we're not living in the past. We're living in the current.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, yeah. So far that was probably the
Big hockey night in Canada matchup. The Habs like to step up to the Leafs. Everyone likes to step up to the Leafs because everyone watches.
Well,
the
I
Leafs.
mean, also
They're big
Saturday
more
night.
coverage.
Saturday night in Montreal
yeah.
doesn't get better than
No,
that.
it doesn't.
For,
Not yeah.
and I
And I've
Even-
watched the Leafs lose in Bell Center. Just want to let you know that.
Yeah. I've watched Montreal win at the Bell Center. I've watched them lose at the Bell Center. It's a lot more fun when they win, but
there's more life in that arena though. It's one of the best.
Amazing atmosphere. Yeah, every hockey fan should try to get there. I think if you like seeing hockey in person.
When I went with my friends, it was a fella's trip to Montreal to see the sights and sounds, go see a Leaf game in the Peter Horacek era. So the last couple of seasons of Phil Kessel and Dion
That's a tough time to go.
So very tough time. Great time for us to go visit. Montreal's a great place. We were beautiful.
Of course, yeah.
We were walking up to the Bell Center. There's a long strip. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's a 45-degree angle, maybe a little more level than that. My buddy was walking. This is during the winter, by the way. And while he was walking, hit a patch of ice. And he started slipping. And then it turned into like a whole cartoon thing where he would fall, kind of catch his grip. And then it was like that for like a full 20, 30 seconds on this long patch. And then at the rink, at the door, we see this camera turn around with a light on, and it's recording him. We're all dying laughing. We've had a couple of pops, right? We're all having a good time. Turns out that was one of the cameras for the truck for Hockey Night in Canada, and then they said everyone was in the production truck laughing their ass off.
Was he wearing a Leafs jersey?
He was, yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Brian Burke probably saw it and was like, I gotta trade.
I'm not sure if he had it open. We were wearing coats in the winter. I couldn't tell, but. That was weird, though, because we were taking photos with just us as a group, and then other Leaf fans jumped in front of the Bell Center, and we got up to the doors. We're all waving, and then we get into the Bell Center, and my phone starts kind of blowing up, and then I realized that we made it on.
Oh, there you go.
A quick little blip. There's my face in the Hockey Night in Canada for that game. You know when
that's a nice feeling.
Like Ron McLean will be like, "Stay tuned, we're gonna be back with a great," and then they do a quick pan of the crowd. There's me and my buddies going like, "Whoa, we're responsible tonight," and then so that's my claim to fame. That's how close I was to the NHL.
Yeah,
closest I've ever been.
It's really a special thing for the players and the fans, I think, and it's got everything a rivalry could ever have. The cultural aspect of the English Canada and French Canada, two of the oldest teams in the league. I mean, it's great. It's great, and even though yesterday didn't
a little slow at times.
Yeah, the second period was pretty bad. The first had some bad stretches. The third was mostly fun. I mean, the overtime that we were denied by a missed slashing call, that would have been, I mean, I'm sure that would have been good too.
I was thinking about that. It's nice when your missed call is right there in the open with the lights are bright on it. Well, I'm wondering if I go back and seeing what maybe some Montreal calls that weren't, that's blatantly highlighted.
That's the way it goes.
40,000 refs in the stands. Go, hey!
That's the way it goes. I mean, what can you do? It was a good game. Not we didn't get the
George Parros Colton Orr matchup.
Yeah, we didn't get the big boys. We didn't get the Jack Eye Reeves. That I don't know. A lot of people might not remember the way back the first game of the year when Reeves and Jack Eye went behind the net there.
And what would he say? He was jumped? Or whatever?
Reeves claiming he was jumped. He's like, oh, that's not my style. But we didn't get round two. And
Reeves has fought already. He fought when he had to. He fought the young rookie who is,
that's right. He fought
and he's done now. He's like, oh, I'm done.
The monster, Matt Rempe. Yep.
Yeah. They didn't fight though, but George Parros is, sorry, what was you going to say?
I was just going to say, they don't make him in the mold of Matt Rempe anymore like they used to. I mean,
freak.
You used to have
Mutant?
an absolute.
Matt Rempe?
No, I'm like trying to envision who you're talking about. Is he just like a gorilla of a man?
Well, yeah, he's 6'7" without skates and
like a very tall boy. It's like Jeff with more leg and more skate.
He's got
dreamy. No, that sounds scary.
He's got the elite reach. I mean, everyone who's fought him is talking about his dangerous reach.
Like if you Google his name, his face pops up, and it looks like he was put in a panini press.
Yeah, his face pops up here. His face pops up a little over here.
What?
Oh yeah, because he got he was going on a tour of fights, like what they used to do in the olden days of hockey when young rookies would come and punch everyone in the face every game.
Yeah, you basically had a line of guys with over 200 penalty minutes back.
Like his one eye was like swollen shut in practice, and that one was.
So he's that kind of player because he has to be. He's not only enormous but not exactly high skilled, So yeah, he's doing what he needs to do to stick in the NHL. But there aren't a whole lot of guys like him anymore. So he's going to be kind of limited because not everyone's going to want to fight this absolute monster. But yeah, I don't know. No fights last night. Maybe a fight could have spiced things up. I don't know. Maybe I know a fight would have got that Bell Center fan crowd off their feet. But
they were, but it sounded like that already though. They were enjoying it.
yeah.
Well, when did they break the tie? Was it how deep into the?
It went
it
off
was the third?
Tavares' lower region. He thinks it's a glove. It was a bad.
Yes. Yes, the crotch shot.
I was doing something else last night as well. Whatever.
Working.
It was off his glove.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know. There was maybe just under 10 minutes left.
Oh, so plenty of time. Okay.
Those are tough bounces. But like you mentioned earlier, they only played once in the previously this season, so lots more to play. Hopefully we can talk about it more, so we've got more matchups before the end of the season. So looking forward to that. Habs suck, Leafs suck, Boston sucks.
Boston does suck.
And eventually I think we're gonna touch on
Aren't they doing better than anyway? Let's not get there. Anyway,
got this guy's mic. We're gonna touch on that a little bit later about Boston to here. I guess just before we wrap up here, violence in hockey. George Peros. Do you think?
well, I was going to ask that guy. What was his name? Rambo Dam.
Matt Rambo. Yeah.
Rambo. Ram. Would he be considered like a goon, or is that even a word people use anymore?
I mean, it's early in his career where he can choose, but he's already.
Is that even a thing people have now?
People, especially the guys actually playing the game, like to differentiate between goon and fighter or enforcer, right?
Enforcer.
The enforcer role is almost non-existent. The fighter role is almost non-existent. Goons are a bit more like pests now, where they're not so much dirty players as they are aggravating players. But so now he's basically carving out a role as a fighter. Which maybe half the teams in the league really have a guy who can fight, and
you have to have one on each team.
Not every team has one,
but
even.
You're right.
But,
you're right.
Because anybody who has watched hockey this decade and the previous and the one previous maybe knows that there's less fighting now than there was, and not only the fighting but even just the violent hits. Violence in hockey in general gets talked about from everywhere, from Hockey Night in Canada to the bar we're sitting at to Twitter, right? And a lot of people are lamenting the lack of fighting. A lot of people are saying that we've evolved past the need for it. And
well, there's definitely a skill. The skill has gone. It's grown so much more in this era of hockey.
Yeah, right? Skill and speed are really what it's about right now. So if you can fight, it's a bonus, but you have to be able to skate. You have to be able to keep up.
All I'm saying is just on every team there's that insurance you need, because Exhibit A of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and at the very end here, I want to give our quick takes on where we think it's going to happen. What's going to happen with both these teams at the end of the season? Wrap up here. Quick, just a quick random guess. But the Leafs, the way they're built, they got this enforcer who doesn't really do it when he's, the fighting when he's supposed to. But you see what happens, how the Leafs were dismantled with the Panthers last season in the playoffs, right? They didn't really have that.
Remind me? I know. Well, I remember. Okay, maybe don't go into it because it's a bit painful now. I'm thinking.
No, it's been long enough. But no, it's just you have a skilled team. They have the skill. They have the potential, like the grade school teachers would tell my parents on a report card. He has potential.
Right, but they're viewed as lacking some of that. The team toughness.
But once in playoffs, the whistles sometimes go away.
That's what I like, though.
Yep. Toronto's more of like actually in Section 5, that's technically a penalty. It's like Schoolie watching the game. He likes to get really like nitty gritty on the officiating.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, the Leafs fans would never be like that.
But when the whistles go away, the Leafs are like, wait a second, you're not gonna like protect us? Like we need an enforcer? That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, man. Playoffs, I feel like they should be less like let the guys play.
Yeah,
and that's why I like to watch those series too.
For sure.
I'm a fan of it personally. Like,
Yeah, no,
You like hockey?
in sports where you can't regulate by potentially getting knocked out, it seems like a detriment to the sport for me. I know the refs don't make every play or every call, and I like when they let the players kind of dole it out themselves.
Yeah, well, I think
sometimes.
it's funny, and speaking of opposing fan bases, I notice, like, just on Twitter or whatever, people who are, not necessarily reflective of the fan base as a whole or intelligent life. A lot of Leafs fans calling the Leafs soft, or the game itself of hockey soft, saying hockey's soft now. They're the first ones to complain in the playoffs about Sam Bennett getting away with mugging guys behind the net. So,
Well, that's because they in a regular season that could be called, but when I was saying when the whistles go away, you have to remember you still got to play for yourself.
right.
And
So I think
that.
if we want hockey not to be soft, the playoffs, that's the time for it. 82
Yes.
games, an 82 game regular season.
I
These
get it.
guys would be mush by the end of it if it was as violent as it used to be. Do you think hockey's too soft? Do you want to see more fights? What do you think? I mean, we also
I don't like when a team can get destroyed early in a season by shitty, like a bad hit or something.
Injuries, yeah.
Yeah, like if it's
happen, though.
clean almost in a way, like you.
or an accident or just
accidents are okay, but
That's why you have to build depth in your roster.
I don't, even though I'm from a place where we were known to be kind of dirty players, I don't really appreciate that much. I do like toughness though.
that being Boston.
Yeah, New England.
Talking
and
about the fans in the stands.
Yeah,
Talk about Mike Milbury's shoe fetish.
I don't like it when you do some shit where you get someone hurt just from like a bad play.
Of course, yeah. There's
Hockey players have kids, right?
there needs to be sportsmanship still,
I agree,
obviously.
yeah.
That's what kind of took it away.
But nothing better than people like going beyond their physical limits, even if it's not fighting each other. But like when two close teams playoffs, and it's just whoever has that extra little bit. That's the beauty of it. Yeah, that might not necessarily be fighting. It could just be that extra bit of like you push a little bit harder when you check somebody. You know, that kind of thing.
And I think that's still very present in the game, especially in the playoffs.
You got to agree though that the old era of hockey of guys actually hating each other was more entertaining because it kind of followed storylines like wrestling, like
Sure, yeah.
where you would hear like stories of like guys actually trying to fight guys like in between after the games or like
the
they
restaurant
literally
stuff.
wouldn't hang
Yeah.
out, but now
you go back.
they go get dinner, right? The guys on here, Mitch Marner and Suzuki went out for dinner after.
Of course, right. Yeah,
Like,
you go back with these two teams, 60 years, and you got John Ferguson walking into a restaurant in Toronto and seeing some Leafs there, and him saying, "Nope," and he pushes his Habs teammates out of that restaurant. They're not eating here with the enemy. I mean, that's romantic, and I think the hockey of the past, the no helmets, scars lining guys' faces, taking huge lumber to each other, and the fighting and of the 80s, it's 70s and 80s. It's romantic, and I understand for me it's part of the history of the game, and that's beautiful, and I don't want that taken away. But now we're dealing with people's brains that we know a little bit more about, and I think.
Well, they don't really show you, like we have the documentaries out there and the research now, but they don't really advertise it more of like people are dying a slow, horrible death after their pro careers, right? It's out there, but I'm just saying
there's like pretty extensive studies being done that people with pro hockey fighting.
But when was the last time you saw anything about that in the last year? Like just on regular media.
Just not too long ago, I just saw a study that saying that like fighters on average live 10 years less than their professional hockey peers.
Yeah, so they should die for their team.
So that's
in combat.
Well, that's the romantic aspect of hockey that being evoked, and I think somewhat interestingly, maybe going off on a tangent here, but anecdotally anyway, from what I noticed, the people who think hockey is not violent enough now, or who are pining for that romantic, violent past, they are often more reactionary types, conservative types. You might find on their Twitter, alongside these hockey takes, racist hockey takes, certainly misogynist hockey takes. Again, anecdotal, but the people who hate Jennifer Botterill for existing in a hockey setting are the ones who want more fighting, and part of it is maybe they want that romantic past when men were men. Part of it is I just think the hockey culture, not only fighting but obviously accountability and players and other ways. I think hockey culture and Canadian culture were confronting the same things, and it's a budding of cultural opposites in hockey culture and in Canadian culture in general. And
you don't miss grapes. You don't miss cry laughing because he mispronounced a simple name in hockey. Sure, he did go offside.
The guy was around forever. Yeah, he went offside, and the linesman had his arm up, and he gave him time to tag up and get back, but he didn't apologize when he was given the opportunity. I wouldn't say I miss him at all. I also don't watch the intermissions much.
No.
I often don't have time on a Saturday night. We're working, we're doing other things, but no, I wouldn't say I miss him at all. I found the entertainment was there, but nothing lasts forever. At a certain point, you gotta move on. He's old. He's a little bit, again, that romantic past. He is a symbol of that. He definitely had good moments where he could evoke that. And the hockey history, he's a disciple of hockey, but I just think time ran out on him, and probably did a long time before that too.
Adapt and survive, right? And then that's just the way it was changing. And hey, you know what? There's a certain part of everyone should have a chance to be in that level of entertainment, right? There's it shouldn't be all dudes or whatever, but I do believe if there is chemistry, such things, and sometimes they get the chemistry wrong. Doesn't mean that they can't change it up. But hey, did you ever hear Carlo Colaiacovo trying to read the headlines when he first started on radio?
No, but
I used to drive in and listen to him.
I'm sure it was like
I'm telling you, like it was. He shouldn't have been doing it, but you build on it, right? So I don't know Jen Bottrill's career, and this is not about Don Cherry versus Jen. It's not. I'm just. But I know what you're saying. People I know what you're saying. The misogynist stuff.
There's a lot of
you hear that, but then you just be like, this person's on here. Well, come on, I know. I've seen the comments,
of course.
But I do believe, regardless the name and face, there's got to be. You got to have chemistry in there, and I think to a point they do have it with the people they have there now. But anyways.
Maybe, I don't know if this is weird, but I'm still kind of dipping my toes in to the culture in that way. Despite my outfit, I'm actually relatively ignorant to a lot of the intricacies of the sport. I didn't know if you guys had any recommendations for me to kind of catch up as far as media or something you liked, because I tried to find one. It had only one channel of audio, and it was crusty, ancient archive footage.
To view this fine entertainment?
National Film Board Canada, 1968.
I actually went to hockeymuseum.org or whatever.
That's awesome.
This guy.
It depends if you want the history, or do you want X's and O's for actual playing the game?
That can be cool, because there are things where I didn't even realize that was a proper play that was being made, or the three different ones that could have happened from how it started. That kind of stuff is breakdowns are fun. But the stuff that I really like is just having a beer and watching a good game, and then someone narrating over it and being this guy does this. I used to watch it for
there's a lot of people who do that now,
where they catch touchdowns or whatever. I used to do that a lot, on Sundays.
Did you have any, I don't want to say misconceptions of Canadians and hockey, but was there anything you said you had some questions?
Well, it got kind of shot down the first 2 weeks when I first moved here.
Okay.
because right away, I mean, I did realize that hockey was very important to the culture, but not everyone. Like some of my buddies that I first met, like, you know, the kind of guys that are like, once everyone likes something, I'm kind of like that, or like once everyone likes it, I'm like, it's not that cool. So it's kind of like that. So he was like, I don't know, he just didn't like sports at all. Like this one dude, Pat, that I knew. So
Yeah, hockey's overplayed.
obviously everyone has their own things, but it is fun when the local sports ball team is like doing well,
Yes.
and you see everyone kind of dressed up or maybe excited to go to a game.
Doesn't happen a
or
lot around
going
here.
deep. Yeah. When I first moved here,
Rare
they were,
occurrence.
they were pretty good though.
Yeah, I think those special sports cities, and you
can
can
feel
include
it.
Montreal and Toronto in those. Yeah,
Montreal for sure, yeah.
There's absolutely an atmosphere when a team is doing well, especially in the playoffs, of course. Yeah, and I think that's something that can unite Canadians and Leafs fans. Is that we're really more alike than we are different. We really have the same passion, and
We will always shake your hand if it's versus Boston.
that's
Well, that's what. I think we were watching a game. I think one like this where they were like, but it might have been the Sens, but it was kind of like the same idea.
a rivalry. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was there. They were having fun, kind of jabbing the other fans that like the other team. Like there was a guy from Ottawa in the group, and but once I said like, yeah, they do suck, and they're like, you can't, you're not. Like, I just moved here, and they're like, this is like we still like each other. We're
Yeah,
just
it's like
having fun.
when
have no right
somebody
to
makes
say
fun
that.
of your little sister on the
I did
playground.
that. I've done that too.
And it's like, well,
unfortunately.
I can say that about her, but not you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he was
Whoa,
like, my
pal.
sister's an idiot. The guy
Whoa.
that hates hockey, actually, and he was like, and I was like, she is that, and he's like, whoa, he actually got and understandably so.
Yeah, no, we're protective of
Yeah,
of our culture and of our hockey and
no,
We'll see where things
Did
go.
you, do you guys want to go through this
but
bad boy or what?
I also think where we already did kind of.
Yeah.
I also think where you come from in the United States, New England is just as hockey obsessed as a lot of parts of
You guys are
Canada.
spoiled. You're
Yeah,
spoiled.
you're
It's,
absolutely you're part of the.
it's a smaller pocket of the population, but it's a very passionate one. I
Oh,
would say
yeah.
like a lot of people will just buy a Red Sox hat, but never watch the games, or maybe they'll have it on the radio or something. But I have like 2 or 3 relatives out of all the Italian American guys on both sides that are like have no teeth because they play adult hockey.
Yeah.
You know, like they're into it, and yeah. So I think that it's still there, and it's a sports town anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Where do you think the Habs are going to be at the end of this season?
I'm hoping that we are celebrating a draft lottery victory.
Like I'm like realistically here. Realistic.
That's realistic.
Don't
That's-
pull my leg.
That's realistic.
Come on, come on. Be serious here. What do you?
Sorry,
Okay, brilliant.
Montreal will be drafting in the top 5. I think probably
All
maybe top
We have it on record.
7.
We'll see how it pans out.
I'm hoping obviously for number 1, baby.
Cool.
Let's
Nice.
go. That's we're number 1. We're number 1.
There you go. I think we're gonna get 2 great weeks.
Of playoffs for the
Playoffs?
Leafs. Yeah, nice game 7 exit.
Yep.
Yeah,
And,
some things are tradition.
It really is. And I won't be surprised. Yeah.
Are you happy with that? Because for me,
No, it's not. It's not.
if you have a consistent
Does he look
playoff
happy,
team-
Brian?
No, I'm tired.
no.
I'm very tired, man.
Well, every
I'm-
year the radio is just like, this is the time, and then
No, I know. They try to get the sales. Like, if your team does well, the revenue goes up. People are buying more in the bars.
hot dogs and stuff.
Everyone benefits from it. But that was hockey. How was your trip to Ottawa?
Yeah, Ottawa. There was a little bit of hockey in Ottawa because we went to a 67s game.
Nice.
Got a shout
the
out
OHL?
Got a shout out to OHL.
And the
We all watched a fair bit of OHL here. Yeah, it was nice. I like it. It's a nice city. Some nice government architecture.
It's cool.
Some nice.
It's cool.
Interesting phrasing.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it is true though. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a fine town. It was fine. It was just to be with my wife and some friends of ours,
Nice.
and that was fun. I will say that disappointed with the hotel room for one reason.
Oh, here we go. He's gonna drop the name.
When you go to
dead
a
body? What was
hotel,
it?
when you go to a hotel,
Let's hear it. Okay, what happens?
you want to turn on the TV. You want to watch
Hardcore.
terrible commercials that you've not seen.
Yes.
Because you don't have cable. You want to lay on the bed
Some weird Comcast package.
with not good TV, too many commercials. When I got to the hotel, we got a Roku TV.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
No
And
cable.
you didn't get a sign in. There's no sign in.
Oh, there's a sign in. They want you to put in your Netflix
I know.
stuff so that yeah.
It is annoying. Like, let me
up?
watch Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I want to watch the same Seinfeld episode I've seen every year for the past 25 years.
Exactly.
And I want too many commercials during it.
I watched the old Hobbit movie, and the last time I was at too. How was the? Was it an ancient hotel, or was it like cool ancient, or was it?
Was it chandeliers?
It was a.
Yeah,
They still make shit. Oh yeah.
No, we were close to the really nice hotels, but it's like a small chain of like. It's trying to be the hip like young hotel where it's like half.
It's a burger without the sides.
Yeah. Well, it's a condo without the permanent residence.
I guess Roku TV was a hint that they might be updated at least. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was fine. It was fine. It was a good
Nice.
trip. It was a good
Thank
trip.
you. Thank you for sending me the Panther tank pictures.
Yeah,
in the
we
War
went.
Museum.
We went to
That's a must.
that museum.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's my favorite part. I run through the whole museum.
They
I
must have some cool
I get the
museums
tank
there.
garage. Yeah,
tanks.
yeah.
Yeah.
You climbing on them and shit.
I
Get
wish.
tased.
I wish they could let you.
Well, there are a couple
there's
that
a couple you
There's
can
a
hop
couple you
inside,
can.
but the group I went with, they're just like, this guy's a loser.
I think one of them's like a self-propelled
amphibious
artillery thing. So not
There's
even
like
really a tank.
APCs there.
Yeah, and there's a couple
Yeah. But man,
personnel
those tanks
carriers
are
you can look at.
massive.
But
Isn't that crazy how big they are?
Oh, huge. Yeah, yeah.
Like this is the size of the house
Mm.
on wheels. They're pretty big. I guess our final catch up here. We won't go into too much detail if you don't want to, but Brian and I had a night on the town.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We
remember
did.
that?
We did.
Yeah. Well, let's touch on that.
I'm still recovering. If I
you
cough
can
out
look,
of
but
the
you
blue-
can't touch.
Yeah.
Yes. You can Luke.
You can. You can Luke, but you can't touch.
But you can't touch.
If people haven't guessed by now,
Yeah.
you guys were at a Star Wars burlesque show, which
Yes,
that's
it
kind of
was.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Friend of ours had the idea. Of course, it was a pal of ours who brought it up, and this took place. We saw it downtown Toronto. It was entitled. It's a traveling show, by the way. It's,
Free advertising.
yeah. It's called The Empire Strips Back.
Of course it is. Of course.
I had no idea what the hell we were.
Were you one of the first people to be told? Because you're a big Star boy, so I was like, you better go.
No, our friend told us, and I'm like, yeah, sure, because I was like, well, we all have to be going, right? Like, I want us to be a group.
It's an outing.
Yeah. So
You can't just be on your own sitting there looking at R2-D2.
Oh no.
Yeah, we had names like Genital Grievous, C-3PO.
Oh, there's some stuff.
C-3PO is
There's
my
some
favorite.
stuff I want to. Okay, some stuff I'll say after because I don't know. I don't want to incriminate anybody here.
Well, you don't. Yeah, we won't.
We were feeling good. We had the classic like get some chicken wangs in us. You know, go to a part of the area that
This kid was
we
running
didn't
around.
realize we would need a reservation to have food. It was like Little Italy or whatever.
Thank you.
In the area, and there's like pizza. Turns out a Saturday night is hard to get pizza. So
Right? It's just like,
so we were like, all right, screw it. We'll just get chicken wings and get drunk, and then
yeah, a couple.
Sit in a parking lot.
it was the first night I had in the year where
Went to Duff's.
it felt summery almost. 'cause
Right? It was
nice
almost
out.
like, whoa, this
Global
is what it's
warming.
like to go out, and because I don't go out anymore. I have no life. So,
I always the 4 hours up to it, I don't want to do it, and then once I want like a half hour into doing something, I'm like, I'm glad I actually put shoes on.
I know what
Yeah.
you're saying. You're
Every
kind of like, I was like,
glad-
Brian better come today. You know, like, but once you're here, you're like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. You guys could go.
Yeah, it was fun.
yeah.
I won't give away all the fun stuff, but they had like Star Wars creatures on stage, and
puppets and-
yeah, they had like the first opening act blew me away. Like, it was so funny. Like, it was good humor. You know, they weren't taking themselves too serious. It's a form of women empowerment. For
sure.
You know, we're supporting the cultural arts,
The arts and the ladies.
and the ladies.
Yep.
You know,
It was a proper
Aliens,
production,
whoever.
which was
Respect.
cool because like I've been to one other. I'm experienced. I've been to one other burlesque show, and it was a totally different vibe. And this one had like real production quality.
Yeah, it was a show.
And it wasn't just someone with like a cardboard tube that was painted green. It was like Yoda. You know?
They had
And
real lightsaber.
no.
I kept hitting Brian. I'm like, that's actually not the actual blaster he uses in the movie. That's not the
You'd
E.
whisper like some like obscure character name that they came on stage. I'm like, I'm looking at their butt cheeks right now. I don't care about their names. But
I'm like, those are Hasbro edition helmets. Those aren't the actual like black.
It's not movie quality.
Yeah.
I get it though, because every once in a while there'd be like the music too was very good, like a good mix of stuff everyone is gonna know because it's from like decades past. So they had a lot, and it would be themed with whatever was on stage. So I had a great time. The guys in front of us did not, because I think the reason I got sick was I was wooing so loud in the back of some dude's head, like he was on like a date.
So you weren't feeling good, eh? Because you weren't feeling good during that? Like you felt a little woozy?
Afterward, well, I
days
started
after.
deep hugging some of our friends that were also sick at the time.
Oh, you're deep hugging.
and I
Okay.
was, we were
state.
all
Deep hug
we were all
9.
making out a little
That's
bit.
a different.
We were.
That's a different.
I went pretty hard. I mean,
Okay.
I just because I was asleep afterwards in the pizza spot doesn't mean I was that.
No.
messed up.
I just kind of felt bad because we pre-gamed a little bit, and you're just like, oh, and I didn't take into effect that maybe
No, that's why I went out.
But we had good, and then we went to a pizza place called like Donatello's Pizza. That's actually not what it's called. It doesn't exist.
It was Michelangelo's pizza.
It's Michael. No, it was the Royal Theater we were close to. There's a pizza place because Danny's was friggin' packed. That place looked cool. But yeah, it was like they shot a movie in there with Liam Neeson in it, and they had signed the poster. And
Of course.
it was a cool little setting. It was like a little end of the movie there, but
Nice.
But yeah, that was our little outing. We all had a jaunt across Canada, or just like in Toronto and maybe Ottawa.
To
But
some people, that's just Canada. That's all Canada
it
is.
really is. But that's pretty much all the interesting stuff I've got.
Cool.
I went to Florida.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
what?
This guy,
Wow.
everyone's traveling. Wow.
I went to Florida for 3 hours. It was literally like a 42-hour time frame. The only cool part was I went to a biker jewelry store, and I was not cool enough to buy anything. But he was trying so hard to get me to buy like not
cool,
guns,
like,
maybe
dragon
but
necklace?
almost guns. Like
There was
he was like, "Look at that knife. That's a cheap knife. I'll get it to you." It's like he knew all the workarounds.
I'll gotcha.
He was trying to be like, you can ship guns on planes, man. You just have to be on a watch
declare
list
it.
for the rest of your
No,
life.
no,
And I'm
no,
like,
the guy at the store told me it'd be fine.
oh my
There was
gosh.
a sign that said must have at least one lower back tattoo to purchase a knife, and you couldn't
I
buy
I just have
one.
one barbed wire bicep.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't knock the salesmanship because the guy was really nice and kind of pressuring me to. He was nice, but
He's
also
got a
like
gun
trying to
up
make
to
a
his
sale.
side.
Yeah, and the guy was like, teardrop tattoo on his face, like a real. It's a biker jewelry bar, and he was like, they had a rail spike that you put into like the train tracks,
Okay.
and they twisted it and then like shaved a blade into it. And I was like, that's the cool. He was gonna give me one for free if I bought buy one get one kind of thing.
Dang.
So like a shiv maker.
Yeah,
The
those
local
are
shiv
called.
maker.
Yeah.
Well,
Those are
I
your
can't.
local-
I don't think I can pull
Shivsmith.
off the big like giant Viking head that's like 3 pounds of iron.
It's a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
We can
really
start our own
have,
biker
I'm just
gang
too
if you
soft for
want.
that. Okay, bicycles.
Yeah.
I can do trike.
Yeah. With the little bell on. Bling, bling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
Put
it.
a,
It was
put a
just like,
hockey card in my spokes and
oh, I fell in love with how the reason traveling's nice is there's different ways people live, and down there it's hot all the friggin' time, and so the place I was at had like a screen door around a small pool, and I forget what they're called. They're like a maison. It's a French word, and it's just a giant cage that keeps the bird poop out and the leaves and stuff.
Oh, and like in the
and you
back?
can like basically be
Those are
drunk
cool.
in the
Yeah.
good weather.
Yeah.
you mean a mosquito bird poop
It's like
cage.
it's like a porch, basically.
I
porch
really
netting.
like those. Yeah, so you can't get like destroyed by all the bugs and gators.
Super
and stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't understand them until
No.
I was like, oh, you can just be drinking with no clothes on outside and not get attacked by mosquitoes
Yeah.
at night. It's
It's
good.
literally to them it's like having a garage
Yep.
attached
Yeah,
to your house.
yeah, yeah,
That's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
literally
Yeah.
like you're not allowed to build it without it.
the
you know?
local, like instead of like having a man cave in your garage, it's like that.
They're cool.
Yeah,
Big
But that's
time.
good. Travel more, enjoy your life. Who knows what's coming down the road?
true.
Just
It's ominous,
life,
but yeah.
life can be very short, Brian.
Yeah, did you go to that bar? Do you have a shiv under there?
Yeah. Or you're just happy to see me. Anyways,
Oh, I love
we'll wrap it
pretending
up
that-
there.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's we'll move on, and thanks for letting me know what's been going on recently.
Thank you.
Fellas.
Catch up. Good catch up. Go Habs, go.
Go Leafs.
Cut that. Cut that. Cut it.
Leafs in 8.
All right.
Leafs in 8.
Get it? Because they don't.
Like,
not
you
have any
can't.
games. Okay.
Make it a best of 9.
Cut it.